All right, welcome to another edition, another episode, the 13th episode of the 214 Sports Show, your home for everything Dallas sports. I'm here, Joseph Duffy, alongside TJ Krillowitz, and as always, Courtney Machani, here to talk about everything in North Texas that we love and enjoy about our sports. It is going to be, at the time you watch this, at least November 16th. But we're recording this, of course, as always, on a Wednesday morning, November 15th. It's been a nice, hectic week of DFW sports, as always. How's it going, fellas?
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real tired, man. It's in hard this episode.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you,
I didn't even
Courtney?
get that sleep last night. I was
I
just.
did.
I didn't get awful
Yeah.
sleep. I just.
What time did you go to bed then?
I had not disclosed that information, but on the sake of the podcast, I did go sleep around, I believe like 3, so about like 5 hours. It's not
pretty bad.
terrible, but I mean, it's pretty good.
It's pretty bad for me, man.
We finna sleep right at this though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I got about 10 o'clock class gone, so
oh
feel
yeah,
great.
that's extra leverage.
I feel great.
Why is it gone?
It's like we're working on the final project, and
Oh,
they
he's
just
giving
like
you
have no
time.
lectures or labs this week, so
Oh,
pretty
that's good.
nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, to start off the show, let's talk about something amazing we saw recently, and that is the Draymond choke job that we saw last night. That was insane.
Dude.
This in-season tournament has guys hungry for this check, I guess. But
Wait, what did you have on originally? I seen. What was
What
the
did what?
original? What was the original one that you had? Like on something amazing.
it was like I was gonna talk about Trey Diggs instigating on
yeah,
Twitter.
this is 10 times better. Yeah, it's 10 times better.
Yeah,
bro.
'cause he was like Bill's kind of choked, and he's like, man, like,
Yeah, I've seen that.
this quarterback didn't become good until Stephon Diggs
Till
came. And
Stephon
stuff. And trying to
came,
hype
yeah.
up his brother and stuff, trying to make
Yeah,
look bad
I've
and
seen it.
saying like maybe he should go move teams and stuff. Stephon Diggs can move teams, but this is
You know-
an infinitely better topic.
That one he's just bored. We don't gotta worry about that one. But this one, man, like
Come on,
that's
man.
insane, bro.
And that makes me think that there's like some family business though. Like he was like, man, I hate Buffalo.
Yeah,
And
that's for
Trayvon
sure.
he's just relaying it, you know.
You can't say anything.
That's
So-
for sure.
This dude Draymond Green.
Nah,
If you look at
man.
that clip, dude, that made zero sense. I'm still trying to find where he felt the need to choke Gobert.
I think it
Yo.
made complete sense. I think if you have the opportunity to put Gobert in a chokehold, I think you would too.
Oh my God, Todd.
That's one of the funniest clips I've seen all year, bro. Because like it was like when I saw the notification, I thought it was at least like in the second quarter. It was like, nah, it was 0-0.
Score 0-0.
in the first, and they just instantly started going there. Like them boys just wanted to fight.
They just wanted to scrap, bro. What a day
Like-
for fights, right? I mean, you see all of that
Yeah,
on ESPN and in-season tournaments and stuff, and
the
but before
Lakers
all
got
that
into
start
it,
off our
too.
day, we saw these a fight in the Senate hearing, a threat to fight in the Senate hearing.
Yeah, boy, stood up on
Man,
him.
everybody wanted to bow up yesterday, I guess.
Bernie Sanders say, "Calm down, calm down." Crazy, bro.
Well, to start off our show, the Dallas Cowboys are 6-3 in the NFL now, second still in the NFC East. Just put another smacking on the New York Giants, this time in DFW at AT&T Stadium. 49-17, your final score. Dak Prescott put on the show. 26 of 35, 404 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception. And the ground game was feasting. 33 carries, 168 yards total, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Rico Dowdle and Tony Pollard, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb were the sources for the majority of that rushing attack. And then the receiving, Brandon Cooks, 9 catches, 173 yards, and a touchdown. His best game of the season by far. And then CeeDee Lamb has done what CeeDee Lamb has done all season long. These past 3 years, past 3 games, first receiver to do 10 catches and 150 yards in 3 straight games in the history of the NFL. Did
I
it
mean,
again.
I don't know about all season long. It's like 3 games.
Oh, he's been amazing. He's
No,
third in receiving yards in the season.
He started off a little slow though. He started off a little
That's
slow.
not his fault. You can blame the play calling.
Oh no, for sure. But, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
11 catches, 151 yards, a touchdown also in the game for C.D. Lamb. Michael Gallup, 2 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. So, this team this week, obviously an offensive explosion. Didn't have much of a threat with the New York Giants coming to town. We knew that, though. But even knowing that, what did you love to see? And who are your players in the game so far?
I gotta go Dak Prescott for player of the game.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, look, I really gotta give Dak some respect. First of all, he already has my respect. I'm already a Dak supporter. I think he is a definitive top 10 quarterback in the league, and I think he has proved himself these last few games. Look, you could say whatever you want about him, all right? You could talk about his picks. You could talk about the losses to San Francisco. You can talk about the playoff losses before and his playoff issue with the Packers 2016, Rams 2018, whatever. People remember that, all right? But people always want to forget the good part about him. People forget that he hasn't gone less than 8-8 as a starter his entire career. They forget that he put 40 on the Eagles' defense last year on Christmas Eve. All right, and he almost damn near did it again this year. People forget it was dominant win against the Buccaneers last year in the playoffs when everyone said that the Buccaneers were going to win. I remember that. People were saying that the Buccaneers were the better team. The Cowboys were going to lose. We didn't. All right. I mean, you can talk all you want about Dak Prescott. He's done his job most of the time. He's easily a top 10 quarterback. He's definitive. If he had Jalen Hurts' stats this year, nobody would support him. I'm just saying that right now. So here's Jalen Hurts' stats to put it into more perspective, all right? Because he is better than him in almost every category, but people still find a way to act like this guy isn't a good quarterback. But first of all, I mean, Jalen Hurts, less percentage, all right? Dak Prescott was beating him in percentage, 70.7%. Jalen Hurts is at 68.9%. He's also at 2 less yards than Dak Prescott. Prescott beats him in yards. He also beats him in yards per attempt. He beats him in touchdowns by 2. He has 2 less picks. They've gotten sacked the same amount of times. Rushing yards is a little different, but Dak Prescott does have more yards per attempt than Jalen Hurts. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to say that Jalen Hurts is better than Dak right now. I think Dak has proved himself as a good quarterback this year. And I think, first of all, I thought the picks last year were kind of a fluke. I think a lot of these playoff losses that we've had in recent years aren't on Dak. I think last year's was, but I don't think really you can blame him on a lot of these. You can blame penalties. You can blame bad play calling. You can blame, not being ready and the defense and all that. But I'm just saying that Dak Prescott, this narrative needs to stop about him right now.
Wow.
I like that right there.
That's going on the reels. That right there is going on the reels. You made it easy for me right there.
Cut it off, man.
What was the question, bro?
Well, basically, what did you love to see in the game? And then who were your players in the game?
Man, I was just so immersed in that answer, bro.
He had me taken on a ride.
I mean, pause. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say the same thing, bro. I mean, no. I'll change it up. I'll go with Rico Dowdle. I like to see what he did. Hey. I think low key.
Dowdle mention.
I like it.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna lie. Right now, he's playing more explosive than Tony Pollard right now.
I'm not gonna disagree.
He's just bringing more energy to the team. I don't know his stats off the top of my head. It was just kind of like a field type of pick right here in my heart. But Rico Dowdle, he had 12 attempts for 79 yards and a touchdown. Average 6.6 a carry. So, I mean, I think he's been playing more than he's been playing up more than what we expected him so far this season. And I mean, there's a reason why when we were talking earlier, like all the way at the beginning of the season, there's a reason why they kept him as like that second RB when they had so many running backs in the roster. Tony Pollard went he went 15 for 55, 3.7 carry. Obviously, these are all situational, but I mean, I think if you watch the game, you could tell that Rico Dowdle kind of just had the better game. So I think that, and it's crazy because the running game was actually good yesterday against the Giants. Of course, it's the Giants, so you don't really got to worry about the Giants. But I think it's a sign that, I mean, they can have a running game if they need to, but it might not be coming from who they think it might be coming from. So it's definitely something that they need to look into. On the other side, the person who, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, we got to say something about Dak, bro. Like, he's just been playing MVP. I can't hate. I mean, I love Dak. I love that. He's a top 10, I agree. But he's been playing MVP level. Past 4 games, he's went 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 72 completion percentage. Last 4 games with CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 12 receptions, 11 receptions, 11 receptions. I mean, like, these guys have just been going absolutely insane. And I had, just to find like a, crazy stat here. Ever since the last 4 games, at the start of the season, Mike McCarthy was talking about this certain type of offense that he's been bringing. This West Coast offense, but I guess he called it Texas Coast offense, whatever he called it. And I mean, I think this past 4 games, I mean, compared to San Francisco, they did the pre-snap motion 39% of plays. Since the Chargers game, they've ran it 62% times against the Chargers, 56% times against the Rams, 54% times against Philly, and 61% times against the Giants. So they've definitely changed these plays calling the past 4 games, and you can see a correlation within that because Dak is having an MVP season. Now, I don't know where he is on the MVP ladder. That's a different conversation for a different day. But I think he's top 3 right now. So yeah, give props to Dak for sure.
Top 3 ain't a bad thing. Hey, that was a good insight, man. That was interesting.
I might be going on the reels too. But yeah, like that was mainly what I was gonna say too. What I love to see was the pre-snap motion, and as we've seen these past 4 games, trying to throw the defense off and confusing them by guys going in motion. You weren't seeing that as much in the first 3 games. That's why the passing attack just wasn't as efficient before. But I think they're really letting Dak do his thing now by trying to confuse the defense with these pre-snap motions, and you're seeing it a little bit more in these past 4 games. That's why this offense is feasting. This was a 28-0 game in the first half. Dak was just having his way, and then also to couple on with that, they were having a lot of aggression too. They weren't putting their foot off the pedal. They kept going at this team, even in the fourth quarter, even in a blowout. We're still passing the ball, which I found hilarious, honestly. I don't know if they were trying to troll the Giants or if they just really wanted a good look. But, man, that was pretty awesome to see these guys just continue to pound these dudes in the pass attack. Stop it, man. In the pass attack.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
It was bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
He started that.
Oh, it was awful.
He knew what he did, bro. So,
with the pass attack. But, I mean, they were just having their way pretty much the entire game. I'm just like you, TJ. I'm sick of seeing the Dak slander. It's like every day this man just has a pick. He's making national airwaves. He's gonna be talked about and slandered on First Take, First Things First. I can't think the show Speak with Joy Taylor and Acho. Doesn't matter what it is, he'll find a way somehow to make national headlines, and he somehow has been balling out every single game, almost every single game for this team. He's not perfect. He's a human quarterback. He makes mistakes. I don't expect him, to play like, prime Tom Brady every single game, but he played his butt off this game. So props to him. He's definitely was my player of the game for the Cowboys, and appreciate what he did.
Hey, this better go all the reels too, but look, man, star on the helmet. That's just what happens. You got to deal with the pressure with the star on the helmet. But look, man, all right, saying Dak Prescott is like not top 10 quarterback is like basically national language for I don't know ball.
you might as well just get arrested now if you say he's not top 10. It's getting insane. I mean, just look at him. Just look at the stats, man. The men may lie, women may lie, but the numbers never lie.
That's true.
He was efficient. He was efficient. Even in a pass-happy offense this past Sunday, put up 4 touchdowns. Yes, he had a pick. The throw wasn't great, but still had 4 touchdowns, man. And I know it's an NFL defense, and they're not that great of a defense, but it's still an NFL defense. So, knowing that,
it's not like he's playing Vanderbilt.
Yeah, come on, man. Just tip
Come
your
on,
cap.
Urban Meyer.
These analysts, they need to tip their cap. These hater fans, tip your cap and move on. So we move on next week. Cowboys playing at Bank of America Stadium against the Carolina Panthers. 10.5-point favorites as it stands right now. You'd think it'd be a little bit more, but of course, going against another team that's not necessarily good in Carolina. Who are some players to watch, and what do you expect from the game this coming Sunday at 12 o'clock in the noon slate?
Well, look, this schedule gets pretty tough after this game, after the Commanders game. You're looking at some pretty tough opponents. So, you got to put the gas to the pedal immediately in this game and get started right away with a score. Get up early on this 1-8 team. I'm going to go with the player to watch out for is, I know it's a basic answer, and I kind of had a basic answer last time, but I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb because, again, he's had that was 3 games in a row with over 100 yards, almost reaching 150 almost every single game. The offense has kind of started to go around him. I know Brandon Cooks had more yards last week, but you could see that they're definitely trying to get CeeDee Lamb more involved and get him more touches. So I mean, you got an 88 still on your team. You might as well utilize him and try to get some quick points up against a really bad team. So that's who I have.
Yeah, I mean, this game is kind of like pretty much couldn't be the same as the Giants game, in my opinion. I mean, there's not really much to really talk about when it comes to the Panthers. I mean, they're the Panthers. I mean, they're they're rebuilding right now.
Yeah,
it's not really much for them to really talk about. So, players to look I'd say something I said before. I'd probably say Rico Dowdle again, and just like any Tony Pollard or one of them, because I mean this Panthers defense actually isn't that bad. I mean their record a lot of times comes from the offensive woes, but the defense has definitely stepped up. I mean they've kept. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know just from watching they've kept a lot of running backs that they've faced recently, like in a little bit in check. Not obviously there's only so much you can do, but I think that if the defense is gonna step up like that, I think we gotta see in a big game from Dowdle and Pollard, and we'll see. I mean, as the season goes, it's gonna be interesting to see what Mike McCarthy does. If he keeps giving Dowdle those same touches, if he does this 1-2 punch, it's interesting to see what he does. So that's something to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, Courtney, you weren't wrong there talking about this Carolina defense. They give up 308.3 yards per game. As that stands right now, that's top 10. But they give up 26.9 points a game total, which is definitely bottom tier in the league. But like you said, it's mainly because of that offense. So they're put in a bad position, and often the turnovers put their defense in a bad position to be scored on. So really, they don't give up many yards between the numbers. They're not that bad of a defense. They're still top 10. Players I'm watching here, I'm going to look towards the Panthers here. Their ground game has been a little bit different recently. Looking at Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders, mainly Chuba Hubbard because he's pretty much just taking the RB1 role. Poor Miles Sanders, he lost his job in front of our eyes. But Miles Sanders,
Eagles to the best team in the league, and now he's on the worst team in the league.
Yeah, Chuba. Who's the best team in the league? What do you mean?
Like he was on the Eagles last year.
You mean Miles? Miles?
Yeah, Miles. Yeah, Miles.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard. He's been doing much better this season. Kind of living up to the hype that he didn't they were supposed to come in with in the
Oh
NFL.
man,
So
dude, don't remind me about Chuba Hubbard. All I know about Chuba Hubbard is that he's always that running back that gets picked up halfway through fantasy week because Christian McCaffrey gets hurt and everyone expects him to be really good, and then he always sucks.
man,
I
that
mean,
dude's
that's
hype in
no
college
problem.
was crazy. Remember like when he was at Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I remember.
A little bit.
He was nasty from Canada. If you didn't know.
Oh
So
wow.
Chuba Hubbard. I would say Adam Thielen, but he's kind of cooled off these past few games. He was
Another
going
fantasy
crazy.
nightmare for me.
Yeah,
You got to
PPR
stop mentioning
merchant,
these
bro.
people.
Bryce Young loves Adam Thielen. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
Dude,
look, this is a yeah. Sorry, you go ahead.
I was saying he leads the team with catches by far. I mean, 68 catches. The next closest is Jonathan Mingo with 23. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, that is
I
pretty
mean,
crazy. That's a for
Jeez.
Adam Thielen, man. At his point of his career.
At this point in his career, man.
He's gonna have 1,000 yards for sure.
But I will say about the Panthers, man, we cannot treat them like the Cardinals. Obviously, this is not going to be an easy win. Still got to earn the win. I mean, you're talking about the defense. The defense completely collapsed against Arizona. It could easily happen against Carolina. This is an away game. We're not perfect when we're away. But this defensive injuries, man, they're gonna kill us. Talking about Leighton Vander Esch and his neck injury and all this stuff. I mean, I would say he was looking like his rookie self this year, but he wasn't really. He wasn't. He's doing pretty good. I guess he wasn't as active with tackling than he was like with his rookie season. But I mean, he was just so useful for run defense. I feel so bad for him too because of his pass neck issues, but. I mean, it just sucks, These are two major players that we needed that are going to be out for the year. I thought Trayvon Diggs was going to be more than what people were saying. People were like, it's not going to be a big deal. I'm like, this is going to be a really big deal. We're gonna have to start. We're gonna have to start the Ron Bland. Jordan Lewis is going to get plays now, and now having Lane Vander Esch. We talked about this at the start of the year. Losing Jabril Cox, cutting him, and now it seems like we have a little hole in our linebacker with Vander Esch getting hurt. So, I hope he can get back next season because, I mean, this dude's always getting attacked by injuries, especially the neck injuries and stuff. Feel bad for him. But, yeah, I mean, the defense got to step up against Carolina. Mazzie Smith had 10 tackles last week, so.
Yeah. At some point I had to think that Leighton Vander Esch, I don't know, if it's time to reevaluate if he wants to play for the long term, because that's now 2 neck injuries that he's faced that are season-ending in the NFL. And I mean, you want to walk while you can, man, and not, put yourself at a disadvantage. Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad at all if he decided to.
He definitely, I think he had a bounce-back season last season. He had kind of fallen away from that all-pro level that he had his rookie year these past 3 years. But last year, he really came back firing. I thought he had a really good year for us. But just was an injury-riddled year for the young linebacker from Boise State. So you don't want to see that ever. Always wishing him the best and healthy recovery. But it could be time to reevaluate if he even wants to keep going, because it's hard to bounce back from neck injuries like that, especially when you have it twice in a young career. So get well soon, Leighton Vander Esch. Moving on to the Dallas Mavericks, who are 8-3 as it stands, third in the West. Would have been second, but the Warriors kind of choked a little bit last night. And then also the Mavericks will lose another in-season tournament game to the New Orleans Pelicans on that atrocious court.
That 500K is out. The 500K is not coming to Dallas, bro.
Dude, we just don't play well in the in-season tournament. Apparently, we just don't care, I guess. But
as long as I get rid of those ugly ass courts, I don't care, man.
Another
as long as I can stop
stinker.
seeing those courts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Luka actually complained about him.
He was. I saw him complain about it.
I feel like that's the reason why the Mavericks played like shit last night. The court.
They blew these dudes out 2 days ago or 3 days ago on the regular court, and then yesterday or last night, now, they got blown out on the in-season tournament court by the same team, the New Orleans Pelicans. So Mavs lose as it stands last night, 131 to 110. Stinker on all accounts. Not a good shooting night for the Mavs. In your opinion, though, Mavs is still top 3 in the West. Have had a very good start and have shown good clutch ability. Top in the league in clutch percentage from a collective team perspective. Who's caught your eye so far on the roster? Besides Luka and Kyrie.
Well, first of all, Luka played awful last night. He's really the reason to blame for the game last night. To 8 turnovers, negative 26 plus minus only 16 points in 29 minutes. Luka played like he was drunk. I don't know why. I mean, we didn't even get like any of the offense set up the entire game last night because of, I don't know, it was just bad loss. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit beforehand. A couple weeks ago, I said Tim Hardaway Jr. was the Maverick that I like. I'm going to switch my answer. I'm going to go with, and this one's a little short of an answer, but this is just my Mavericks. Me being a Mavericks geek, but I'm going to go for Sean Holmes just because in the very late amount of minutes he got last night, he dominated. I believe he had 7 points, 6 rebounds, something like that. And about 10 minutes, his plus minus was a positive 8. He looked like a good enforcer, somewhere that we would have obviously really needed against Valanciunas and Zion Williamson last night, who dominated us in the paint. Because guess what? Guess who was in the paint for us? Dwight Powell. Who else? We couldn't freaking, stop him in the paint. We really couldn't stop him anyways. The Pelicans were just making everything last night. I couldn't. It was just a tough watch because can't do anything about it when the other team's just making everything. I mean, yeah, I think Rashawn Holmes was a good enforcer for the little minutes he had, and I think this is a good positive movement towards finally getting Powell out of the rotation and getting a good center in that rotation that can, kind of at least limit the other team's rebounding and points in paint.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna touch on that center later. But the Pelicans were on like a 5-game losing streak. I mean, honestly, that loss that the Mavs has it's embarrassing. It's the start of the season though. Stuff like that's gonna happen. But when you talk about the best player impressed me so far, I mean, like TJ said, he said Tim Hardaway. That was last week. And I said the Derek Lively last week. I'm gonna still go with Derek Lively. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just like good center play. I mean, like you talk about center, these are the centers that Luka has played with since getting drafted. Dwight Powell, obviously. DeAndre Jordan, washed. Salametry. I mean, you ain't gotta talk
Come
about
on, bro. Don't say nothing about Salametry.
The legend.
Oh,
the
don't say nothing about
legend.
We really had no hope during the year.
We're gonna get personal if you start talking about Salah.
Max Cleaver has logged into the center once behind over with Luka. Kristaps, that didn't go as much as we hoped. Willie Cauley-Stein. Actually, I thought he was gonna play a lot better than he did, but he just didn't show up. Boban, he was just there for the jokes. I'm not gonna lie. Moses Brown, young guy that really didn't ever really get where he could have been in the league. JaVale McGee. I like the JaVale McGee signing for the most part, but he did his job here. And then Christian Wood, which I thought also was gonna be way better than what happened. So I mean, Luka really had a lot of hope in that center role. I mean, right now the Mavs are 24th in rebound in the league, which is pretty abysmal.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it's like in terms of that aspect, the center role hasn't improved, but defensively, I think Derek Lively has brought a lot more to the game than low-key a lot of those centers are on that list. I mean, in college at Duke, Derek Lively is outplaying his college career at Duke already in 9 games. I mean, he's had like 2 double-doubles, a block.
Yeah, he didn't play at all with Duke.
I mean, we obviously all know what happened in the first game against Victor Wembanyama, and he's kind of been keeping that pace. And even beyond that, the most important thing, I guess, when it comes to a rookie is how they gel with your stars. And I think Derek Lively right now is gelling with Luka like perfectly. I mean, he's already a lob threat. Luka and him find nice have nice chemistry off of each other, especially off the pick and roll. So I like the way Derek Lively's been playing. I mean, with the list of centers that Luka has played with, I hope that he can at least be top 3 in that list. I think he's already top 3 in that list already, given the circumstances of how they are 8-3 right now. So Derek Lively, I'm gonna go with Derek Lively.
That's fair.
TJ touched on it a little bit last night, but this ought to show, like, this center situation between Dwight Powell. There's no reason this dude should be your first center off the bench. No way. I mean, just looking at this, I know Luka didn't have a great night plus minus wise, but going back last night, Rashawn Holmes played 12 minutes plus 8 plus minus, and then Dwight Powell played 11 minutes minus 16 plus minus. That is just...
There's definitely a correlation. I'm telling you right now,
100%
there's a correlation to that plus minus. All right.
It's remarkable this guy still gets playing time like this. But
so look, yeah. First of all, Derek Lively at Duke, man. He was behind Flipowski, first of all, and he had those injury problems, so he wasn't really even playing in college, which was why it was really surprising to see us pick him up at I believe it was the 12th overall pick, because we traded down. So I mean, yeah, I do like how he's played. I wish he could be more of an impact player. I think he had that first game where it was super, his best game of his career so far, and everyone thought really high of him, and then now he's just been getting in foul trouble.
Sure.
But I mean, yeah, dude, real quick, this is a little off topic, but I do want to say this because you mentioned Boban, and I was watching football with a couple of my friends a couple of days ago.
Relief.
They were watching the Rockets game on their phone, and one of them like laughed and turned over to the other Rocket friend, and it was like, yeah, Boban just got like a mop and like put the ball, like got the ball out of the backboard or something like that, and he was like, that was pretty funny, and I was like, man, I didn't tell him, but like, man, that almost made me cry. I was like, that's some good old times. Like, he don't know. He don't know that's a Maverick thing.
Maybe I'm hating here, but man, like, I like Boban, nice guy, but it just seems like he was only signed again for like the comedic relief, because Rick Carlisle didn't use him at all. He just somehow didn't think he was useful. Or I guess
about that game before COVID hit, though. Yeah, where he outperformed Jokic.
Oh, yeah, he was cooking that game.
He outperformed Jokic.
Baby hook machine, bro. He was cooking Jokic. He put him on the grill. But yeah, for answering the question, I think Derrick Jones Jr. I said Grant Williams last week. I'm still liking him, but I'm going to switch it up a little bit for this week and say Derrick Jones Jr. He's brought some athleticism to this lineup in the starting 5. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far with him. He's not necessarily going to be the scoring machine for you, but he can be a capable 3-point target on the wing, and then eventually can knock down his free throws as well. Overall, as a team, we're doing a little bit better in the free throw game than last season. So I'm kind of liking the free throw aspect of the game as well for us. But Derrick Jones Jr. has really been nice for us, in my opinion, especially in the starting lineup, because we don't historically have a lot of athleticism on our rosters. I would say it really started to change in the modern era when we drafted Dennis Smith Jr. Obviously, that didn't work out, but for some reason, we just never have like this crazy athletic prowess in our rosters, and it's always like we're just getting by off like Luka's handles. But Kyrie's athleticism, man, it's getting there. It's just cool to see.
At like 30-something years old. I don't know how old that guy is, but
what?
I mean, he's old, bro. I mean, he's not like. It feels like his athleticism in like 2015, 2016, that's different. But
Derrick Jones Jr. is not that old, bro. He's like 27.
I think saying Kyrie.
No, I'm saying Kyrie too. He's athletic, but he is not the same way Derrick Jones is.
He still is pretty athletic, though.
Yeah, he's still pretty athletic. But
he's still
not
pretty
acting like he's top tier athletic, but it's nice for us. That's what I'm saying. We don't have a lot of athleticism most of the time. So Derrick Jones Jr. athletic.
Europeans.
Well, you forgot one person on that list that's super athletic. It is the most athletic person on our team, but nobody remembers him because he always forgets to score the freaking basketball every time he gets the ball. It's Josh Green.
Oh my God, he's another athletic guy. Plays a lot of minutes, but somehow just not looking at the basket.
he's by far our most athletic and most hustle guy. He's our
No,
hustle guy. He's our athletic guy. He just can't score. He's
And
supposed to be
when
year
they
after
did
year.
2 points.
he's
Yeah,
not even a
28
terrible
points,
shooter.
2 minutes, only 3 shots too. He isn't. Yeah, he's not even a bad shooter. He's just not confident, and this is what's happened to him every single year. He gets in these short little stumps where he just doesn't score. This got to be the year where he's got to stop doing that. He's got to get that monkey off his back and actually score some points. But it's just not what I like to see.
Every year I keep thinking he's about to make the starting lineup, and he just puts
Can't
himself
do
in
it.
harm's way. Don't know why. Move on a little bit to the brief Dallas Stars topic. TJ, what you got to update us on with the recent Dallas Stars news?
He didn't ask
Super
questions.
exciting win
Let's
last
get
night,
straight to
man.
it.
Super exciting win last night. Getting an overtime win against the Dallas Stars, against the Arizona Coyotes, man. I mean, first of all, always winning against the Phoenix team is good. But I'm telling you right now, I mean, first of all, the Dallas Stars got some really good statistics right now. 11-3-1, 23 points, first in the Central Division, second in the West behind good old the Golden Knights. 7-3 on a 4-game winning streak. They have a 13 goal differential. They're looking really good. But the thing about them is that you haven't seen their best yet. They haven't gone to their best yet of their season. First of all, their power play has struggled really, really bad. But they did go to Minnesota just a couple days ago, which Dallas sports, man, they always tend to beat Minnesota sports teams all the time, man. We beat them in the playoffs last year. We go into Minnesota this year and win 8-3 just a couple days
Ooh.
ago. And I'm bringing up the 8-3 victory against Minnesota not only because it's a good road victory against a good team, but we were 5-8 on the power play that game. 8 opportunities on the power play, and we scored 5 times. Finally getting that power play going. We actually doubled our power play goal percentage in one game with the Minnesota game. And of course, we kind of picked that up where we left off against Arizona last night. Good OT win, exciting win, especially because I was watching that game, turning off the Mavericks game since they decided to not show any effort. I still think it's the court, man. Those 20 turnovers were because of the court. But I mean, I really do I think that we haven't seen their best yet. And once they really get attacking on that power play, there's too much talent on this team to not have a good power play. Once they get that timing right and all that stuff, Rupe Hentz starts getting his points back. He hasn't scored too much yet, but he's, obviously, I think Rupe Hentz is a top 10 NHL player in the league. He's just that good. I mean, if you want to watch Rupe just skate, you could tell he's a good player. So, I mean, I really like the direction of this team. This team's going to do really well. Losing Max Domi in the offseason was going to be tough. I was going to wonder how they're going to replace him because I didn't think there was any chance we are going to re-sign him. And I was right. But signing Matt Duchene has been better, honestly, at this point. He's been better than Domi. He's been what we needed. He's been such a good scoring burst. I mean, our top 3 lines right now are dominating. This is something that the Stars have struggled with over the last couple of years, that they've always had struggle with scoring behind their first line. Robertson, Hentz, all of them obviously are going to score no matter what. But then it's like, what are the players going to do after that? Are they going to score? We had problems with Guryanov's not scoring, Jamie Benn, Tyler Sagan. Now they've had kind of a little revival, and Guryanov got traded for who is it? Dodonov, and Dodonov's been a great addition for us. White Johnston's been a huge, huge help with scoring behind that first line. So I mean, you're looking at a team that's going to be real good. Hopefully Ottinger can stay healthy because, having Wedgwood as a backup isn't the best option, but it is a good option for a backup, I guess. But Ottinger, I mean, he's just been, obviously we all know the stories about Ottinger. He's been a really great goalie this year as well. And, hopefully he could keep that up, and hopefully we can get him a good backup at the trade deadline so we could rest him for games so he doesn't get tired. Because I think that's the reason why he struggled in the playoffs last year for a lot of these games was because he was just tired. We don't have a good backup that we played a lot. So, I hope we can get him something like that. And I hope he's telling the organization that if that's the case. Maybe he was just tired. I don't know, man. Maybe it wasn't that reason that he struggled in the playoffs last year. But anyways, I'm done boring y'all. That's my
Dang,
star
I
stock.
don't know if that should make the reels or not. I mean, he's making it hard. He's making it difficult for me
that
now.
might be his own video. Shit. That he on with. Hey, it might be his best episode yet, man.
We might need some stars reels, bro. We need some stars reels. But
I was watching those Kobe and Shaq reels before this. I was locking in.
That boy was studying. But yeah, the highlight of the Stars weekend, of course, was beating their rival in Minnesota. Like you said, Dallas seems to always own Minnesota. Big OT win last night as it stands, but big matchup coming up against the Avs this Saturday in Dallas. Colorado Avalanche coming to town, and then the New York Rangers following on Monday night. So as it stands, the Stars are in really good standing in the West. Still doing very good. We're going to go ahead and go to the next segment, the last segment, talking about our props for the Cowboys game in Carolina. We're going to start here with Cowboys being 10.5 favorites. Do you think they do more than that, or do you think that end up going against the spread?
I could go first. I'll go over. I'll be the one to go over. I don't know. It's hard to always test. It's hard to predict the Cowboys on the road. We saw them lose to Arizona on the road this year already, so it's definitely not. It's definitely a very big possibility that we don't win by more than 10 points, and it's a very big possibility that we lose too. But I think this team is headed in the right direction. You mentioned the pre-snap stuff and all that. It seems like this team is really getting better with their playmaking calls. Dak Prescott looks like he's heating up. Same with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. I like how this team is looking. On the other side, the defense hasn't looked too good, and they've been trending downwards. But the good thing is that the Carolina's offense is pretty bad. So I like the Cowboys for this matchup. Give me the Cowboys with an over.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Cowboys over, but it's a weird line because I mean the Panthers don't usually even though they lose almost every game, for the most part, with the exception of a couple other games, they don't really get whooped in a sense. I mean, they get whooped overall, but they somehow always have it within 10 or something like that. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see. 'Cause I mean the people that they face in the past couple of weeks are also bad teams, like the Bears, which they only lost to by 3, and the Texans they actually beat by 2, and so it's I'll go over. I'll go over.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be a slight over too. Cowboys just don't perform the same on the road. If this was in Dallas, I would say all the way. But yeah, this team's a little bit different on the road. Sometimes they struggle a little bit in hectic environments. I already know it's going to be a majority. It's going to be probably a 50-50 crowd, I think. Cowboys fans travel well. Big opportunity to gain some ground in the division race. Chiefs play the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Great opportunity for Cowboys to build on this NFC East race and get a win back in efforts to win a division title. But I think it's going to be a slight over. We win by possibly 15 points. I don't think it's going to be more than that. But moving on here to Dak Prescott, 283.5 pass yards. What do you say, TJ?
I'm going to go on a limb here and say under for this game. I'm going to go under. I feel like they always do 283. I don't know. We go look at past weeks and see where they always set the line for his passing yards. Because I swear it's always the same. I'm gonna go under just because I think this is gonna be a game. I want to see the defense win this game for us. I want to see us create turnovers with Bryce Young being the inexperienced quarterback he is. I want to see pressure on him, cause those turnovers. I want the defense to win this game for us. I think we get out early, and I think we don't have to use Dak Prescott that much. So that's what I'm going to go with. I think I said that last week too with the New York Giants, but I'm gonna double down. It'll happen this time. Defense is going to win us this game this time.
I I think I'm gonna go over. I think that Mike McCarthy is gonna ride the hot hand until the hot hand cools off. So
Wow.
I think he's just gonna keep going with that Dak and CD connection until some team stops it. I think he saw what they're doing with AJ Brown over there in Philly, and they said, you know what, let's make a record of our own. I mean, that CeeDee Lamb's the first player with 10 receptions, 150 yards in 3 games. So I think they're gonna try and get another 10 receptions, 150 yards. So I think I'm gonna go over.
And McCarthy was taking care of CD really well last night. I really like to see that. I was wondering why CD was still in the game in the late stages, and then it comes out eventually. But I would say, Dak has had 3 straight games now at 304 yards. I think he gets it. I don't think he's going to have 350 yards or anything like that. It's not going to be a 400-yard masterclass like we saw last game. But I think that he gets at least 283. Tony Pollard, a little bit of a bounce back
Pollard.
week. 65.5 rush yards. Some would argue that maybe he should be having more split carries with Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle seems to be more efficient. How about Pollard, 65.5 rush yards? What do you think, TJ?
Gonna go over. Gonna go over this one. I think this is gonna be a runish game. I want to see Pollard get a good game. Maybe this is more hopeful than actually looking at statistics and actually giving a reasonable choice. I want to see him get over 66.5 yards. I want to see him have a good game. I want to see him have as good. Again, it's not looking too good with his rush yards per attempt. So I'm gonna go over. Hopefully he could get it back this week.
Yeah, I said this before, but I mean, we still gotta have that conversation about Tony Pollard, man. I don't know what's going on, bro. But I mean, like I said earlier, I'm about to go under. I don't know. I feel like, and also like they just don't give him I guess obviously with football you want to get in the end zone, but I think he only has 2 touchdowns on the year. Like they don't give him opportunities to get actually in the end zone, which gives a player more confidence when they actually score. So I mean, it's like he does all that work. Even if he does work on a drive, he does the work and just go throw something shooting maker or something like that, or whatever his name is, or Jake Ferguson, which he's been throwing to a lot recently in the end zone. So it's like they're not really using Pollard like he should, but I also don't think Pollard's stepping up. So I'm gonna go under.
I will say I'll give him a little bit of a benefit. The run blocking has not been amazing this year. It's just now starting to find its stride. I'll cut him a little slack in the first 4 games. But I'm stuck on this, honestly. I think he goes slightly over. Not a lot. I'm expecting more split carries. I think as a team, we'll rush for at least 130 yards again against this defense. But their pass defense is pretty good in Carolina. So the rush defense is their weakness. I think him and Dowd will have themselves a day. And let's wrap it up with CeeDee Lamb. Like we said, 3 straight games, broken NFL record, 3 straight games of 10 catches and at least 150 yards in 3 straight games. It's never happened before prior to CeeDee Lamb doing it. Projected 99.7 receiving yards. What do you have to say about that, TJ?
Give me an under. This isn't any detriment to CeeDee Lamb himself. I'm going under because I think, first of all, this is going to be a game. I've been I'm double downing, triple downing, quadruple downing on the fact that I'm saying that this game is going to be we're going to get up early. We're not going to have to use him. I already went under with Dak's yards, and also, we got to realize that we have a game on Thursday after this on Thanksgiving. So I do think we rest up our players for the Thanksgiving game. So I'll go under.
Me and TJ got 2 totally different scripts about how this game's going. I'm gonna go over. I think that I think they're gonna want to keep it going. I think they're gonna try their hardest to try to keep it going. I think CD wants it to keep going. I think he's gonna definitely this week, as they run their stumps and everything, he's gonna do everything in his power to stay involved in the offense like he has been this past 2 weeks. It would be smart for them to take that little rest on this game, as they do have the game on Thanksgiving, but sometimes you don't want a Cardinal situation, especially to 1-8 team. Oh my God, y'all talking about the media now? Oh my God, they lose to.
We saw it with the Cardinals.
Oh, we saw.
Yeah,
we saw it with Jacksonville last year too.
Oh, the Jacksonville
Ruthless,
one
bro.
was bad.
With Butterfingers dropping the ball and causing us to get a pick six.
And now he
Noah
wants to
Brown.
act like he's a top tier wide receiver in Houston.
It's hilarious.
Trash.
Mr. Butterfingers.
Hey, come on, y'all. He's been balling, bro. He's been balling.
And they
not
blame
gonna
that on
acknow-
Dak still.
I'm
It's
gonna
hilarious. They
acknowledge
blame
it.
that on. They seriously blame Dak Prescott for that. That is
That
hilarious.
was a great throw, man. I still can't get over
Oh,
that.
Jesus, that game.
Crazy, man.
Moving on to the last part. It's a little bit of a fun question. Like I said, rapid fire question area. But we saw a lot of fighting last night. Of course, in the NBA and the in-season tournament, we also saw a senator trying to threaten to fight a union leader in a hearing. But
Crazy.
speaking of standing on business, who do you think has been standing on business in the sports world the most? Let's keep these answers brief, maybe.
Some ESPN type question.
Standing on business.
My fantasy team, first of all.
Man, my team's surging. Quit playing.
I think I also just want a dominant victory. I'm gonna see you in the playoffs, though, TJ. Right.
Just your
Man,
fantasy,
keep
that's
on
it?
winning, man. I don't know, dude. I'm trying to think, man. Standing on.
So many people have been staying on business, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Give me Adolis Garcia. He's the most
Oh.
recent standing on business moment that I can think of that is that dominant.
He was staying on business. I
Gets
might have
me
to
back.
go.
Maybe Stroud. I might have to go Stroud too.
Stroud he had this.
How about you, Courtney? You got an answer?
Dang, man, there's so many people, bro. Like, man, I would love to go Derek Carr, but he stuck it up. Stuck it up so bad he got hurt. I just want the reason to mention my Saints team. I ain't gonna lie,
Hey,
but I'm gonna have to go with Embiid. I don't know something about Embiid. He's just been staying on business to me. I mean, Harden left. You know, people thought they're gonna kind of just like go sour. But nah, he's been going crazy. And he said, "Hey, y'all thought my MVP season was a fluke. Let me go crazy a little bit." I mean, Embiid's been staying on business, bro. And I mean, they have a player who, bro, like it's crazy. He got into a car accident, bro. Like he got hit by a car. Like one of their friends got
that
hit by
poor
a
dude,
car.
man.
That was insane.
Unbelievable. Sad.
I can't believe that happened.
And hey,
Cursed.
they playing, and he was having the best year of his career, low key.
Of his
like,
career,
playing the
yeah.
best basketball. Yeah. And I mean, hey, him and Tyrese Maxey are staying on business right now. They said they don't need Harden.
We don't need
need
Harden.
Don't mess with that.
We don't need the system.
Don't need it.
But
We don't need
yeah,
the process.
for me, man, I'm gonna go back to behavioral standing on business. I don't like him really, but Draymond Green, he's been scrapping this year, bro.
Hey,
Man, that dude's just been
Yeah,
scrapping the entire. You could argue he's been the Warriors' second best player this year, honestly, if you want to go to the actual statistics. But
Yeah.
they didn't have much support from the typical group this year. Clay has been performing well.
That's pretty crazy you mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah,
The Warriors haven't had a player score over 20 points other than Curry.
Andrew Wiggins
Yeah.
is playing absolutely.
Something like Podziemski. I think Podziemski is the only other one, but he's only had one time. But it's been Curry putting the team on his back pretty much the entire season.
And you talking
Draymond
about
Green.
behavioral stand on business. I don't know if it was one of the two. Dylan Brooks, I ain't gonna lie, he's stand on business, bro.
Stand on
I don't
business.
like Dylan Brooks either, but he's
But
stand
calling
on
out
business.
Braun. He's been calling out Braun.
He called out Braun, and I mean, and he said, "I'm in your head. I'm in your head." I was like, "All right, bro."
Hey,
But he
man.
just stand on business, bro.
All right. That'll wrap
We'll
up
give it to
episode
him now.
13.
When the Rockets are 30 or when the Rockets are 22-47 in March, we're not going to care about Dylan Brooks, but we'll care about him now.
We'll enjoy it while we can.
Yeah.
So that'll wrap up this week's episode of the 214 Sports Show. Make sure you can tune into us at YouTube and Spotify at 214 Sports Show. We post on Spotify usually by the time you see it on 9 a.m. Thursday mornings most of the time. If not, sometime a little bit later on Thursdays, but you can find us at YouTube and Spotify at 214 Sports Show. We also have an account for this podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Same handle at 214 Sports Show. TJ, you want to give your actual personal handles?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, since you asked. I'll go with the Instagram, tj.krolowitz, and Twitter at tj_Krolowitz.
Since you asked, it's crazy.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Class of Life, and Twitter. I'm gonna go C_.
Yeah, for me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Joseph_Duffy99. Again, as you see in the screen, at Joseph_Duffy99. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure to come back and tune in and listen and watch the 214 Sports Show. Like we said, you can follow us on YouTube and Spotify. Please like and subscribe on those platforms. Thank you for listening and watching. Please come back again. See ya.